Certainly, in the 6 years before Abe recently took office in 2012, there were six prime ministers. So for someone to stay in office for 8 years, to lead his party to victory after victory in elections, this is truly a great achievement, making him one of the probably most accomplished Japanese politicians of the post-war era. Also, as other speakers have noted on this program, he had an international profile because of this stability as a leader for so many years. He could build relationships across the Indo-Pacific. He could visit these countries and get to know their leaders in ways that other Japanese prime ministers did not.
And Jeffrey, domestically, Mr Abe had mixed success trying to revive Japan's economy after decades of stagnation. Overall, how effective was Abenomics in reviving the economy?
Well, the jury is still out today on Abenomics. Some people will say that it was successful. Many others will say that the numbers were not as good as the government said they were. But probably Abe's real legacy will not be so much economic as in it is a political legacy, and a legacy involving foreign relations with the allies of Japan, but also very negative relations with Japan's Asian neighbors in China and Korea.
Mr Abe's bid to remove pacifist clauses in the country's constitution and to restore sovereignty over Pacific Islands, to which both Japan and Russia lay claim, did not succeed.
That is correct. It was always his great ambition to revise the constitution, get rid of that pacifist clause. It was something that his grandfather wanted to do as prime minister, and for many years, conservatives within his party set that as a goal, but it was a bit too far of a goal for Abe, unfortunately, for him.
He made Japan an important pillar of the Quad alliance, tightening relations with the US, Australia and India. You were touching on foreign relations before and how important that was.
Yes, he was someone who launched the Quad when he was in his first term. He has seen the building of an alliance, a stronger alliance with America, with Australia, with India, and with other countries in the region, balancing against China as a very important goal of Japan's foreign policy. And in many respects, he was quite successful in moving forward this goal. It's not a goal that's original to Abe. It's something that conservatives within his own party have wanted for many years, but he definitely pushed it forward in a way that no other politician had yet achieved.
And his Liberal Democratic Party continues to dominate Japanese politics. How influential was he here, even after he stepped down as Prime Minister?
Well, he stepped down as Prime Minister, but as other guests have noted, he remained leader of one of the major factions within the LDP. So he still played an important role as a sort of kingmaker or queenmaker, in that he would endorse certain candidates. He had a lot of politicians behind him. And so he was one of the most powerful political figures in Japan, even though he was no longer prime minister. And to fill his shoes will be an enormous task for the more conservative members of his party.
How will they move forward?
Well, it's hard to say right now. The whole nation is basically in shock. And there are other members of his faction who could step up, but none of them have the name recognition or the achievements of Abe. So perhaps his wing of the party may not ever be the same again.
And the violence that we have seen unfold in Japan today, we have seen it before. In fact, Shinzo Abe's grandfather, former Prime Minister Kishi Nobusuke, survived an assassination attempt in 1960.
That is correct. In that case, and in several other prominent cases in the post-war era, right-wing extremists attacked politicians. There were more recently instances of right-wing extremists linked to organized crime, killing a mayor of Nagasaki in the 2000s, and there were other opposition politicians targeted for assassination in previous years. But this is certainly the highest profile and most shocking political assassination in Japan since before World War II, since the 1930s, really.
Well, the country is due to go to the polls on Sunday. Will this likely be put on hold, do you think?
I doubt that the election can be put on hold at this point. The term is set, so there'll be a day of campaigning tomorrow. Maybe it will be toned down campaigning. Some of the parties suspended their campaigning today. Other candidates remained on the street. Abe's own party and his allies, of course, have not been campaigning during this, but there will probably be an election on Sunday, and it's expected that Abe's party will do quite well.
Jeffrey Hall, thank you for joining us on The World Tonight.
Thank you very much.